All right, welcome back to the channel. Deontay Wilder talks Tyson Fury pay-per-view fight coming up and also talks about the ridiculous double standard that is placed upon him when looking at what he does versus looking at what Tyson Fury does. We're going to talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel, subscribers. If you are not subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified when we release more videos and all of that good stuff. Also, thank you guys for the support on the Patreon. Shout out to everybody that comes to the live stream, supports with the super chats and the Venmo. Much appreciated. Let's get to it. Okay, man. This storyline is just, man, you know, another day, another dollar as it comes with this type of stuff. Deontay Wilder talked about the double standard that is placed upon him when you compare it to the way that Tyson Fury is treated by the media when he fights the type of fighter that Tom Schwartz is. He also talks about how he is going to fight Tyson Fury again and how it will be a combination between Showtime and ESPN. Or it might be Fox. He said his network. So I'm not sure if he's talking about Fox or if he's talking about ESPN. But it looks like everybody's on board for the rematch. But as you know, man, we've been there and done that with that. You know, this ain't the first time. This is the third time that we've thought that everything was all set up and ready to good to go with Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. The first time is when they actually fought. The second time was when Tyson Fury ducked out and ran away from the fight and is now just fought a cat, Tom Schwartz. More than likely, he's going to fight somebody else who nobody cares about and doesn't have a chance to beat him before he goes into the Wilder rematch. So what is the double standard that Deontay Wilder's talking about? It is how people seem to not acknowledge the fact that Tyson Fury will fight one high level competition guy and then come back and fight a bunch of dudes that are a bunch of low level fighters. And how he did that with Deontay Wilder, went and fought Tom Schwartz after jumping out of a fight, and now more than likely he's gonna fight a guy like I heard the name Jarrell Big Baby Miller. I also heard the Don King fighter, forgive me for not remembering his name, man. Actually a pretty decent fighter, but you know, a lower level heavyweight, a lower mid-level heavyweight in God, man, forgive me, man. He's the #1 ranked contender by the WBA. He's managed by Don King. I'll put it in the comment section exactly what his name is. But that's another guy that they're rumoring to fight Tyson Fury. If that was Deontay Wilder, his own network would be running him down. His own network would be running him down. Showtime would be running him down. Jim Gray would be running him down. Paulie Malignaggi would be running him down. They wouldn't be doing him like ESPN does Tyson Fury and act as if a fight against Tom Schwartz makes him the #1 heavyweight in the world. They wouldn't be treating him like Ring Magazine treats him by acting as if a fight against Tom Schwartz, a fight against Pineda, a fight against Sefi Safiri, and a draw against Deontay Wilder, it being the only things that he's accomplished in the last 4 years, makes him the #1 heavyweight in the world. Wouldn't happen. He's on a network, he fights on a network where he can beat a guy and still have the announcers, Paulie Malignaggi, Jim Gray, Al Bernstein, complain about his opponent and his performance, even though he's the guy that's bringing people there that are paying the bills for them to cover the fight. That is something that's really consistent in the sport of boxing. And there's no other way that you can describe that, man, than a double standard. It's okay for Tyson Fury. It's okay for Tyson Fury to fight Tom Schwartz and get in a fight where Tom Schwartz I know I'm killing his name, quit. He didn't knock him out. He didn't knock him out, lay him out unconscious. He quit. He didn't knock out or lay out Sefi Safiri. The dude quit. I do believe the same thing happened with Pineda. Those guys just stopped fighting. It's not like the guy knocked him out and stopped him. You're supposed to, this is something that Deontay Wilder said about Tom Schwartz. He said, man, that's the type of guy that you're supposed to knock out. That's the supposed to guy, you're supposed to have that guy laid out like Dominic Breazeale. Dominic Breazeale, I do believe people would have to, admit, is a much better fighter or a more renowned and well-known fighter and respected fighter than Tom Schwartz. Same thing for Luis Ortiz. Same thing for Tyson Fury himself. Quite honestly, same thing for Bermane Stiverne. And shoot, might be Gerald Washington too. But all you heard for years and years and years, but mostly for AJ fans, is who has he fought? Who has he fought? Who has he fought? He's fighting tomato cans. He's fighting tomato cans. As if you can win a heavyweight championship by the heavyweight champion is a tomato can when you beat him. Wasn't a tomato can when he walked in the ring with Deontay Wilder, but he became a tomato can after he left. In retrospect, a retrospective tomato can. But no type of you don't see the same analysis being done by other fighters. And now, why am I talking about that today specifically? Number one, Deontay Wilder is talking about, was mentioned it. And I thought that, hey, whenever you got an opportunity, or whenever I have an opportunity to point out double standards in boxing, hey man, I'm pointing them out. Like the fact that Eric Molina was perfectly fine to fight when he fought Anthony Joshua, but he was a bum when Eric Molina fought him. Right? It's just very coincidental how people's analysis of the same fighter changes depending on who it is that the guy is fighting. Now, I also was doing the same thing, going through the same thing with some conversations I was having about Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao, I think, is a great fighter. Without a doubt, Manny Pacquiao is a great fighter. Objectively speaking, as objective as you can get with the designation of a great fighter, I think Manny Pacquiao definitely fits the bill. He is a Hall of Fame fighter. He has fought many, many good fighters. He's beaten many good fighters. He's lost to some good fighters. Even though if he's beaten a good fighter, he's wanted to run it back with that fighter, with the exception of Jeff Horn. But I think that was primarily about having the fight in Australia. But somebody left a comment in my comment section and said, if Manny Pacquiao was black, then I would be saying that he's the greatest fighter of all time. What? Why would I say Manny Pacquiao was the greatest fighter of all time if he was black? I would have to say that about every fighter. I would have to say that about Andre Ward and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and other people of the same caliber of fighters, and call all these guys the greatest fighter of all time. I find that a little ironic, man, isn't it? How if I make a statement about Manny Pacquiao, who's not a black fighter, and I don't have the ability to judge him on his merits because I'm black, but somebody else who isn't black is being honest when they make their assessment of a black fighter. So why can't, if you feel as if you can make an objective decision or an objective opinion about a fighter based on what he's looking in the ring, what he's doing in the ring, why is it that when a black fans say that they think somebody that isn't black isn't good, it's because the guy isn't black? Man, this is the worst thing about, it's the worst thing about boxing, man. It's the worst thing about boxing. And just to be really clear with what I think the connection between the two is between Deontay Wilder and the scenario that I laid out about Manny Pacquiao, I think it's because Deontay Wilder is black. I absolutely do. In America. I don't think that, and I think every once in a while you get guys that get passes because they're being pushed and sold by somebody like Eddie Hearn. So they're like, yeah, you know, he'll get the benefit of the doubt of the media that is being influenced by Eddie Hearn, or the media that is being influenced by Bob Arum. But if you're just, you know, just solo out there by yourself, like Deontay Wilder, promoting himself, doing things himself, then you're not going to get that protection. And you're going to get much tougher scrutiny. And you can have an objective fact for you, right? The same people will look at you, the same fact for one guy and the other, and always give a harsher criticism to the black fighter. Certain demographics of the boxing fans in America. I can't speak for the UK. I can't speak for the Philippines or anything like that, but I know that's like that in the United States. And sometimes I really feel like that is, even in the situation where you see the way that Jim Gray treats Deontay Wilder and Paulie Malignaggi treats Deontay Wilder, that is so ingrained in those guys that they don't even realize that that's what they're doing. They might think that they're being fair and objective. But then if they're looking at a scenario with somebody else, they're not being fair and objective. Like, for example, Vasily Lomachenko and the treatment that he gets at ESPN, where you can have a guy like Teddy Atlas say to the face of Terrence Crawford and Andre Ward that they're not the top fighters in boxing. It's Vasily Lomachenko who has half the fights. But anyway, you know, I'm on that particular topic today because I feel like talking about it. And I was a little bit irritated by the comments that I got in my Manny Pacquiao video, because I've been a big fan of Manny Pacquiao. And I've done a lot of videos in support of Manny Pacquiao. But I'm being objective when I'm complimenting him, but I'm being biased and racially based when I say that the guy is 40 years old and he might lose to a black fighter. Anyway, it is what it is. Let me know what you think in the comment section. With that, I'm out. Peace.